Most people think rich people are lucky, but the real difference is usually hidden in daily decisions most people never question. Poverty is not always about income, because many people earn decent money and still stay broke for years. Rich people do not simply make more money. They think differently, spend differently, and move differently every single day. The scary part is that these differences are invisible at first, but they quietly shape your entire financial future. Today, we are breaking down 6 things poor people do that rich people avoid completely. If you see yourself in this video, do not get defensive, because awareness is the first step toward wealth. Most people never improve because they refuse to look honestly at the habits keeping them stuck. Subscribe if you want more videos that explain money, mindset, and wealth in a real way. This channel is about practical financial truth, not fake motivation or nonsense advice that sounds good but changes nothing. Now, let's start with the first habit that keeps people poor longer than they realize. Poor people spend to feel better right now, while rich people spend with a long-term purpose attached to every purchase. Emotional spending feels harmless in the moment, but it slowly drains money that should be building your future. Rich people pause before buying because they ask whether the purchase creates value or just temporary comfort. Poor people often buy things to escape stress, boredom, or insecurity, then feel worse after the excitement fades. That cycle repeats because spending becomes an emotional reflex instead of a conscious decision. Rich people break that loop by building habits that reward patience instead of instant gratification. They understand that one impulsive purchase is rarely the problem, but repeated emotional spending absolutely is. If money disappears every time your mood changes, you are not controlling your finances yet. The first thing rich people avoid is letting emotions drive spending decisions. That single habit saves them thousands before investing even begins. The second thing poor people do is buy status, while rich people buy freedom and optionality. Poor people often want to look successful before they are successful, and that pressure destroys their bank account. Rich people usually care less about looking impressive, because they care more about becoming financially independent. Status purchases are expensive because they pay for approval, not actual utility. The car, clothes, phone, and shoes may look good, but none of them grow your net worth. Poor people often stretch for a lifestyle they cannot truly afford, then spend years paying for appearances. Rich people delay luxury until it fits naturally, not as a replacement for financial stability. They know that buying respect is expensive, and keeping it is even more expensive. The second habit rich people avoid is confusing appearance with progress. Real wealth is quiet, and that quietness is exactly why poor people often miss it. The third thing poor people do is ignore their numbers, while rich people track everything that matters. If you do not know where your money goes, you cannot control where your life goes either. Rich people check accounts, budgets, and investments regularly because they respect the power of information. Poor people often avoid their bank balance because they do not want to feel uncomfortable. But discomfort is useful because it shows you exactly where the leaks are hiding. Wealthy people use numbers like a dashboard, not like a judgment. They make decisions based on data, while poor people make decisions based on feelings and hope. If you want your finances to improve, you need to look at them often. The third habit rich people practice is awareness, and poor people avoid it until things get bad. You cannot fix what you refuse to face. The fourth thing poor people do is rely on one income source, while rich people build multiple streams. A single paycheck feels safe until it disappears, pauses, or stops growing entirely. Rich people understand that financial security comes from diversity, not dependence on one employer. They build side businesses, investments, content, or assets that continue working even when they are not. Poor people usually assume multiple income streams are for later, but later often never comes. The easiest time to start is before you feel ready, because readiness usually follows action. Rich people are comfortable building slowly because they understand that one income source is fragile. If your whole life depends on one paycheck, you do not have freedom yet. The fourth habit rich people avoid is dependence, because dependence is expensive. Independence starts with even one small extra stream. The fifth thing poor people do is fear investing, while rich people fear staying uninvested. Poor people often see investing as dangerous, complicated, or reserved for wealthy experts. Rich people see investing as a tool because they understand inflation destroys idle cash over time. Saving money is important, but saving alone cannot beat rising prices forever. Rich people put money into assets because assets have the potential to outgrow inflation. Poor people leave money sitting still, and still money slowly loses its power. The fear of investing often comes from inexperience, not actual logic. Rich people learned the basics, start small, and let time do the heavy lifting. The fifth habit poor people avoid is taking control of their money through ownership. Wealth grows when money starts working harder than you do. The sixth thing poor people do is think short term, while rich people plan years ahead. Poor people ask what feels good today, but rich people ask what creates power tomorrow. This is why rich people can sacrifice now without feeling deprived, because they see the bigger picture. Poor people often react to life, while rich people design their lives on purpose. They set goals, measure progress, and make decisions that support those goals consistently. A rich mindset is not about perfection, it is about direction. If your choices today keep serving the next 10 years, you are thinking like an owner. The final difference is patience, because wealth usually looks boring before it looks powerful. If you fix just one of these habits, your finances would already move in the right direction. If you fix all 6, you stop playing poor and start building wealth for real.